Hello again. Your friendly neighborhood grumpy gay guy here with another What Grinds My Gears segment. I'm joined by my co host, Boston. I tried to get him in the video earlier, but this is the best I can do. All you can do is see his tail flapping about his kitty butt. Anyway, so I had a conversation, I say conversation, with somebody online today, and it made me think of a topic that I wanted to discuss. And it's something that we men face that women do not and will never face. I was talking to somebody and we came upon the subject of how women have to fear for their safety when they're near men. And honestly, I think that is extremely sexist. One, you're normalizing mental trauma. You're normalizing somebody's PTSD because the only reason you should be terrified walking down the street is if you have some sort of mental condition that makes you terrified of everyone and everything. There is literally no reason that every single person you meet walking down the street should terrify you. I should know. I actually had to get help because most of the, when I was in college, I couldn't stand near women. Women literally terrified me because they were going to make fake rape accusations. I was called a sexual predator against women. I was told that I'm just pretending to be gay so that I can get close and attack women, either sexually or physically. So, after a while, after being accosted and attacked like that just for being male, I started to fear women. I wouldn't stay I wouldn't stay in an elevator with them. I quit using the elevators altogether at Marshall because of the attacks. I wanted to use only stairs, and if I did go into an elevator, I would go with somebody I knew. Otherwise, I'd walk. I was out of shape. I'm still out of shape, but in the opposite direction. Now I'm heavy. Back then, I was 115 pounds at my heaviest, 110 pounds at my lightest. So I was still out of shape back then. Let me tell you, it is not easy to climb 4 to 6 flights of stairs as a skeleton. You about die, you about fall down, pass out halfway up the first staircase. And it's terrible. It's tiring. It takes its toll on the heart. I would go up, and by the time I would reach my classroom on the 6th floor of Harris Hall, walking up the stairs the whole way, the room would start to spin. I would be dizzy as hell. I would hear my heart pounding in my ears, and I put up with this because I was terrified. And then after a while, I said, fuck it, and I wanted to reclaim my life back. I wanted to reclaim what little fraction of health I did have, so I started seeing somebody, and they said that this behavior is not normal. Avoiding people because they are a specific gender is not normal behavior. It's not healthy. Therefore, all you women out there who run to the other side of the street because a man might be maybe stalking you, that's not healthy behavior. I have learned this through intense therapy. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't know why you're scared, but you need to see somebody about these mental insecurities, these mental issues you have. Mental instabilities, mental insecurities, mental issues. I don't know what you've got going on, but you have some issue up there that needs addressing if you are literally terrified of every man that comes near you. I'm sorry, that's not normal. Oh, I'm gonna move it because my kitty cat. I actually get offended now when women look at me and clutched something, their purse or something close to their chest, or when they shrink and shrivel up like this when I'm near. I get extremely offended because I have literally not done anything in the 31 years that I've been alive to make anybody terrified of me. If you are terrified of me, you have deep-seated issues mentally, and you really need medicated heavily. I'm sorry, but I don't intimidate anybody. I don't even fucking intimidate myself. These issues are your problem, not mine. Quit projecting them onto all men. You are a sexist bitch. You are either a sexist bitch or you are mentally unstable in some way. And honestly, I'm going with the former. Because of how I've been treated, I'm sorry, but most women are just sexist bitches. I say, prove me wrong. Force yourself to not be terrified by a man who's waiting at the same bus stop as you, which is another thing I've had happen. I've had women scoot. I've had women go to I like to sit in the back of the bus. There's a seat I like on the bus. It's my favorite seat. I have OCD too, so I like to sit in the same seat every single time because it makes my brain less hot, is the best way I can describe it. And so I sit there, and more often than not, there's usually some woman sitting around me, and at least 10% of the time, for the 4 years I was at Marshall, I've only had a car for 1 semester. So, and I was there for like a year longer. So out of 5 years, that's 10 semesters. So, wow. This is one of those times where the statistic actually fits, because 5 years equals 10 semesters. So 9 semesters equals 90% of my time at Marshall. And so for the 90% of my time spent at Marshall, riding a bus, that is, 90% of my Marshall experience was spent riding a bus, as opposed to the 10% of my time at Marshall spent driving. 10% of the time I was on a bus, a woman would literally get up and move to the opposite end of the bus. If the bus was crowded, or if my seat was crowded, I would find my second favorite seat, which is right behind the bus driver. There's this little wall thing that separates the seat from the bus driver, so you can't see anything, but I like it because it's a perfect view of my stop when I'm going home. And because when I'm going to school, my seat's almost always open. In fact, I would actually have to try hard to think of a time my seat was filled going to school, because I'd have to get up so early sometimes. But I digress, sorry. If I had to sit in the front seat, which was quite often, because when I would go home, it would be quite full quite frequently, and there would be at least once a week, one woman would get up and move to the opposite end of the bus. And 9 times out of 10, she was always a college student. She'd be a college feminist who's getting up and moving away from men because she's terrified. And I'm like, sweetie, I'm literally 13 whole pounds soaking wet. You could take me in a fist fight. You could take me any time of the day, any day of the week. It doesn't matter. If I just woke up and had 3 espressos, or if I'm half asleep, it doesn't matter. You can take me. Like, I still can't fight worth shit. I still don't even know how to make a fucking proper fist. But yet they're terrified of me. I'm like, bitch, I'm gay. I don't want you anyway. I'm sassy, but not violent. I'm bitchy, but not violent. I am the grumpy gay guy. I'm very grumpy, but not violent. I have never been violent. I do not see violence as an acceptable answer for anything. And what pisses me off is that these women are terrified of me. They are literally terrified of me personally because they're terrified of all men. And I'm sorry, but I go back to my earlier statement. If you are terrified of me, if you're scared of me personally, you have issues. There's literally no reason you should ever be terrified of me. I've never fought, so if I get into a fight, I'm gonna lose. No, I don't think anybody ever really wins their first fight. I'm 31 years old, and my body's fucking breaking down and shutting down most of the time. So only half of my body works at any given point in time. So seriously, that's a you problem. Your terror is a you problem, and you need to get help. Yes, even for you sexist bitches out there. Your sexism is a you problem, and you need to seek professional help. Because you have let somebody terrify you into thinking that every man around you is going to attack and hurt you. I'm sorry, the statistics don't prove it. The statistics do not show that you will get attacked. I'm sorry. The statistics show that you're more likely to get struck by lightning, or you're more likely to win the lottery. And I say this as somebody who was robbed at gunpoint. That is something that did happen to me. I have more reason to fear men than any of you. Oh, guess what? I actually was raped by a man. So a man stuck a gun in my face, and another man raped me. So I have way more reason to fear men than you do. And even I'm coming out here and saying that's sexist to put that on all men. I know who raped me. I know who pointed a gun in my face. He didn't have a mask on. He just walked up to me and asked for $1. When I said I didn't have $1, he put a gun in my face. Ironically, when he robbed me, all that was in my wallet was $1. If you want, you can look it up online. The dollar burglary, the dollar mugging. He robbed me and my company for that evening. I fucked some Marshall slut. Some Marshall whore. I don't know his name anymore. I think it was Jacob. But he was some porno junkie. He was there for music appreciation. And he was just some slut who went around fucking his entire dorm. And, well, lo and behold, after like 2 semesters, he had fucked all the men in his dorm. So he went online and found me. And, well, he was a polite, high-class whore. And he had walked me to my car. Jacob Campbell, that was his name. He was a high-class whore who walked me back to my car that night. And as we were saying our goodbyes, he noticed somebody walking to us and kind of ducked behind me. And once the guy came, he asked, like I said, he asked for $1. I'm like, I don't have any money on me. And then he, after we both said we don't have any money, he pulled out a gun and said, empty your wallets and empty your pockets. And I pulled out my wallet, opened it, and sure enough, there was literally just $1 there. So I had a gun shoved in my face for $1. I'm just glad he didn't shoot. I interpreted the situation, and I had a feeling that he wouldn't shoot. I went on faith that he wouldn't, which could have been wrong. It could have been wrong, but But yeah. Anyway, I know what he looked like. He didn't have anything on, like, to cover his identity. He didn't have anything to whatever. He didn't have anything on to hide his identity. So I know who he was. I'm not. Also, he was a junkie, and he looked like a junkie. Oh. He was a junkie, and he looked like a junkie. And then there was there was a junkie that killed my Rob. And yes, I hate junkies, but I'm hating, well, that's something completely different. I don't hate them all. Still, I don't walk around terrified of every single junkie. I mean, even that's inaccurate to state. I'm sorry, but if you walk around terrified of somebody because of one thing, hell, and a lot of women who are terrified of these men have literally had nothing bad ever happen to them. Most of the time, they're like I had a friend, Nicole Scott, in college. She's literally had the perfect life. Nothing bad has ever happened to her. Oh, thank you for the kisses. I love you. This is my little buddy Boston. Oh. Here. I'll help. Don't ruin the video. There we go. My buddy Boston wants to say hi. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Sad. But my friend, going back to my friend Nicole, I think that's where I stopped. She's literally had the most perfect life, and she is beyond terrified of police for no reason, because she got stopped once. She got stopped by a cop once when she was learning how to drive. And she is also one of those people that is terrified of men for no reason. Come here. There you go. But she is also one of those people that's terrified of men for no reason whatsoever. She's literally never had anything bad happen to her. She's still with, as far as I know, her high school boyfriend. They've never broke up. She's literally still with her first boyfriend. And her first boyfriend she met in high school, and she's been through college now, I think twice. I think she has her master's degree. I mean, if she really should. If she went back, she should really have it by now. But I digress. But she's also one of those that's terrified of men, and that's what pisses me off the most. These women who run around terrified. Like, have you ever been attacked? Is there any reason for you to be scared? Yes, because men are predators. No, the fuck we are not. He wants to say hi again. But I'm like, no, the fuck we are not. Men are not predators. Stop saying it. And my question to you is, how do you know men are predators? Have you ever been attacked? Have you ever been victimized? And I don't mean in that feminist, bitchy, retarded way. I mean in that, in an actual real way where somebody has called you out and threatened your life type of threatened. I don't mean, ew, you're a woman, you're gross. They're MRA, I don't mean that I don't mean that MRA thing where you go around and say, ew, you hate women, I feel threatened. I'm sorry, calling you a bitch is not a threat. You are not a victim because I call you a cunt or a bitch. Grow the fuck up. You're a victim if you are victimized. And 98% of the women out there have never been victimized legitimately. Quit biting yourself. Quit it. So this is getting on to 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'm talking in circles now. Just heed my words. Get help. You are not victimized. You're not a victim. You have never been a victim, so there's no reason for you to fear. Go get help. This is a you problem. If you're terrified of me, then you need help, because I've done nothing to terrify anybody. But my kitty cat needs my attention.